Today, we are going to talk about the S&P 500, the DXY, the US dollar index, Bitcoin, Ethereum, MEGAWEAPON, and also Kitty. Those last two play to earn tokens are having a big week. MEGAWEAPON actually had a big day today, both on the chart and also fundamentally. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to cover how the S&P 500 kind of dragged everything lower today, and also that Bitcoin failed breakout. Now, before we get started, guys, if you are enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon to get notifications because I am releasing these videos every day, Monday through Friday. All right, so I want to start with the S&P 500 because this kind of stole the show today, and not in a good way. US stocks are still the #1 risk asset. So whenever you have a period of risk off in the markets, US stocks are going to typically lead the way. And this is what kind of led to the Bitcoin failed breakout. All right, so we had US stocks selling off here. The S&P 500 lost about 2% today, which is a big move for stocks. And it also is right now kind of resting in this 4,200 area. Okay, so this region through here has been the key level that I've mentioned in the past. We saw a big bounce from this area previously, and right now it does kind of appear like it's resting either just below that area or on the bottom fringe of it. Now, here's the thing about breaks like this, like what we're seeing today, is typically when you get a break like this, it's better to see 2 days worth of closes below that level. So what I mean by that is one close below it like this is very marginal because you can see where this wick back here is very close to today's close. So this could either go two ways, right? It could either be a false break and we get a close back above this area tomorrow, or if we get a second close tomorrow below this area, then the S&P 500 is most likely going down here toward the $4,000 region. And then this area becomes resistance. Now, what's interesting about that is that we do have a descending channel off of some of these highs and lows that does line up around this area in early to mid-March. The reason that's interesting is because on March 10th, we get that next CPI reading, and on March 16th, we get the next Fed funds rate. Okay, so if the market is trading down here at this confluence of support, when we get all of those events, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, especially the Fed, because if the market by that time is trading 17% off of its all-time high, which we don't know yet, we'll see if it is, but if it is trading 17% off its all-time high, when the Fed has that meeting next month, it's going to be very interesting to see how Powell reacts, okay, Fed Chair Powell, because he is not going to want to tank markets further. The S&P 500 would be bordering on bear market territory at that point. So my guess is he would be less hawkish than we've seen him recently, and that could lift risk assets, okay? But this really, I mean, bottom line, guys, is that if we do see a second close tomorrow below today's low, okay, down here in this area, then this area up here becomes resistance. And again, we are likely looking at the market down here toward the $4,000 region. Alternatively, if tomorrow closes back above this area up here around 4,240, okay, if it closes up here, then this down here was a potential false break, and we're likely looking at a move back here toward channel resistance. So next up we have the DXY, the US dollar index, and this market has started to rally a little bit here today, although it's not what we would typically see in a full-on risk-off environment. So that is kind of interesting just because the market is still kind of in this area where it's been really since November. Now, what I am watching still, okay, is the monthly time frame. We have this trend line off of the 2011 low. And right now, it's just a matter of seeing the market make a first lower low ever since back here in May of last year. Okay, so if it can remain below this trend line up here, okay, right around 97 to 98, and then also carve that first lower low in the market, then that is going to help risk assets like cryptos move higher. Okay, so another thing I'm watching here too is on the weekly time frame. You can see where this recent candle, all right, so right back here, this big red candle was technically a bearish engulfing week, very similar to what we got back here in March of 2020. Now, the key to this is we need to see a move below 95.13 to confirm it, and ideally below 94.60 to give us that first lower low. Until that time, we're looking at a market that is just moving sideways. Now, a move above 97.50 would invalidate everything I just said. And if we see the US dollar move above this area up here, then risk assets are going to come under more pressure. So next is Bitcoin, which we did have an intraday breakout earlier today. So let me show you on the 1 hour chart first what we were watching here. So from this minor swing high up here, you can see where there's a level across several of these highs recently, and the same thing along these lows. Okay, so what I was looking for was a breakout from this pattern. Now, if you've watched those videos, the one thing I kept saying is that this was just step one. Okay, so step one was here. Step two was a daily close above 39,600. In fact, I even said that the highest conviction play here, not financial advice, but the highest conviction play was always a daily close back above 39,600, which we never got. Okay, or at least we haven't had yet. Now you can see where this breakout failed. Okay, so Bitcoin obviously is trading well below that region now. And like I said, a lot of this is due to the fact that we saw US stocks sell off today. So right now, guys, what I would be looking for is really if we just move out here to the daily time frame. Okay, so this is what it's going to come down to. Can Bitcoin hold above 36,000 and 35,000, so this area down here, and carve that higher low compared to the one back here at 33? Or do we get a bottom down here around 33, form some type of double bottom there for the move higher? Now, as I've said recently too, if we were to see Bitcoin close below 35, okay, down here, in my opinion, that opens up the door to the $30,000 region, which we've obviously seen Bitcoin trade in this area for the past 14 months. Okay, so I know a lot of people are expecting that. I still maintain, even after today, I still maintain the idea that we're not going to see $30,000 simply because all of retail is calling for it right now. Now, I could be totally wrong, okay? And if I am, I'll come out and say that I'm wrong. But for right now, as long as Bitcoin is holding above this $35,000 to $36,000 area, then it is intact as support, okay? So, look, I'm not going to get bearish right now, even though we saw this rejection today, just because the market is still well above that support area. But last but not least, as I've said for the last few days, not financial advice, but if you are looking for the highest conviction play, in my opinion, that is a daily close back above 39,600. Okay, so this area back here is going to be key to see that move higher. All right, so we're not going to see 42,000 or 46,000 and especially $50,000 unless we see Bitcoin reclaim that area right around 39.6. That is going to be the hinge for a move higher. Like I've said recently, everything else, as long as the market's below 39.6, then Bitcoin is dicey, okay? You have to be careful. So nothing has changed there in that regard. Reclaim 39,600. I think we see a move up here toward 42, 46, and probably higher. Otherwise, if Bitcoin loses $35,000 on a daily closing basis, then I do think we are going to see $30,000. All right, so next up is Ethereum, which is trying to hold on to this area right around 2570. Okay, so if you look back here, this is kind of a minor level, but the market did bounce here yesterday, and today it is trying to hold above that after a pretty big rejection from this area up here. The one concern with Ethereum right now, and this is very similar to Bitcoin, is this region between 28 and 2900. Okay, so this area through here is going to be key to get back above. All right, and this is very similar to Bitcoin in that $39,600 level. If we can see Ethereum get back above here, then I do think there's a good chance we not only see a move back toward 3,100, but that also we see a move up here toward 3,600, because that would indicate that this down here is a false break. Now, alternatively, if Ethereum loses 2570, okay, on a daily closing basis, then it opens up this area down here right around 2,300, where we saw that bounce a few weeks ago. Now, you'll also notice that I have this short-term descending trend line off of some of these recent highs because the market really has to make a first higher high. So if you're looking for a higher conviction play, just like with Bitcoin, this is not financial advice, but really this market needs to make a first higher high because it has not been able to do that ever since November. Okay, so once the market put in a high back here, we have only seen a series of lower highs from Ethereum. We have a potential higher low here, okay, but a higher low is not confirmed until you get that next higher high. Because right now, we don't know if Ethereum is going to do this and make a higher high, or if it's just going to continue lower, in which case this is not a higher low. So we need to see that first higher high for Ethereum to really start moving higher up toward 3,600. Alternatively, as I said, if it loses 2,570, we're probably looking at a move back toward $2,300. All right, now for the really fun stuff. I want to talk about the weapon token. This is the play to earn token that I have been discussing ever since it was back here around $1. All right, so recently we did see this market break down below this trend line. Okay, so at first glance, you might be saying, well, why are you so excited? Because it did break down here recently. However, right now, this project is waiting on a third-party audit from Certic to complete. And recently, for the past few weeks, it's been kind of stuck at 85%. Until today, it got bumped up to 99%. Okay, so that means that they are almost complete with the audit. Once the audit is done and legal gives the green light, they can launch staking. Everything else is in place. Now, the cool thing about staking is that for the past 2 months, ever since December 23rd, they have been accumulating 3% of daily volume to go to future stakers. Now, that's going to be in addition to the normal 2% of daily volume. So it's going to be a bonus for the first 2 months at least of staking. So what I've been saying recently is I think that's going to draw a lot of attention because you're going to have on the one hand a lot of people buying to take advantage of those rewards, and on the other, not a lot of people selling because if you sell, you can't take advantage of those rewards, okay, that bonus. So for the first 2 months of staking, I do think we are very likely to see the weapon token really start to climb above $3.50 to $4. And as I've been saying, once staking is out, the full game later this year, I do see this token going to $10 to $20 later this year, which would be a $100 to $200 million market cap, which for a project that has staking and a full play to earn game, I think that is more than conservative. So obviously that's just my opinion, not financial advice. But as far as the chart goes, guys, this breakdown here, just to kind of clarify this, I've always said that the fundamentals here are far more important than the technicals, especially for a microcap like MEGAWEAPON, okay? Because a breakdown like this can easily be reclaimed on the back of news. If tomorrow Certic came out and said, okay, the audit is complete and the team said we're ready to launch staking, this would absolutely take out this area and most likely head back to $3.50 to $4 within a day. Okay, so stuff like this, I'm not concerned about at all. In fact, if the market were to reclaim $2, we'd be looking at that move back toward $3.50 to $4. But as of right now, really strong bounce from $1.40. This is the area that I mentioned to members yesterday, and sure enough, we got a nice bounce from that area. So all in all, guys, just accumulation right now for the weapon token. That's been the case for the last few months, but I do continue to think that once staking launches those first few months, we are going to likely get a parabolic move here from the weapon token as people kind of scramble to get in to take advantage of those increased rewards. So once that happens, and we do see the market take out $3.50 to $4, then a move up toward $10 to $20 later this year over the next few months does seem very likely. And last but not least, we have the Kitty token. This is another play to earn token I've been talking about for the past few months. They are coming out with a kitty cart game. Think Mario Kart, but being able to play as your favorite NFT characters. Now, the big news here for this project is that they are launching their beta release this week. Okay, so later this week, they are coming out with their beta. Now, I will be playing it on Friday. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but there you have it. I'm excited to play on Friday, so I will be playing it firsthand, so I'm looking forward to that. As far as the chart, guys, it's obviously taken a beating. Now, the thing to remember is that it was trading up above a $100 million market cap shortly after it launched. Okay, so you combine that with the fact that the team has been developing throughout this entire period and the fact that Bitcoin has pulled back about 50%, then it's really no surprise to see the market trading where it is. Now, did I think it was going to go this low? Absolutely not. I thought that, back here we would see some kind of bottoming pattern form and then the market would start to move higher again. But obviously we've had a much longer consolidation period. But just like with Weapon, delays happen, things on the chart happen that are unforeseen. I still think that this does incredibly well later this year. Right now it's trading at about an $8.7 million market cap, which for a project with a beta coming out this week, okay, a beta of a play and earn game coming out, $8.7 million market cap is incredibly low in my opinion. So I do think it offers incredible value. That's not financial advice, but even a move back toward all-time highs. Okay, this right here would be about 1,000%. So you're talking a 10x just from current levels back to all-time highs. All right, so, take that for what it's worth. I personally think that this does incredibly well later this year, especially from current levels. I was buying back here in October, just so you guys know. I was buying back here, and I have averaged down a few times throughout this consolidation. Okay, so I still have a ton of confidence in the project. I haven't sold a single token, and I don't plan to for some time. All right, so that's it for today's video. I do hope it helped. Just keep in mind that as far as Bitcoin is concerned, because we know that Bitcoin is driving the market right now, as usual, a close above 39,600 is really what's required for buyers to push prices higher. Until that time, guys, you have to be a bit careful. The market is in a downtrend, making lower highs and lower lows. So just be careful out there. I'm cautiously bullish above 35,000 Bitcoin, but at the same time, I'm not full on bullish just because we haven't really had that confirmed reversal pattern. All right, guys, so I hope the video helped. If it did, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get notifications, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.